Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to explore the 13th letter of the alphabet, the letter M, which is so exciting because, we're going to go deeply into numerology. And in this case, the letter M, the letter that embodies the mother principle, the divine feminine. It embodies magic, manifestation, money. And so we're going to understand people who have this letter in their name, first, middle, or last initial, for example, or whose name ends with an M, or if they have the letter M anywhere in their name. So that may be you, but you need to pay attention because first of all, you may know someone who has an M in that capacity, but even if you don't, you'll discover this secret language of this letter. We're going to go into the symbol, the image, the meaning, and the mysteries in money manifestation that are actually secrets that have been kept from us for many reasons, partly because of what the number 13 represents. Right? And as usual, we're going to end with some powerful tips on how to leverage the star codes and the letter M in your personal and professional life. So that's what we're covering today. So since the number M is the 13th letter of the alphabet, the number 13 governs this letter. It's almost like the forbidden letter, like the number 13 is forbidden in most cultures. You don't see it in an elevator. There's no 13th floor. Airplane rows don't have the number 13. Friday the 13th is associated with creepy old movies and, it just has a negative, dark connotation. So this is how the powers that be prevent you from exploring what actually is deeply important and totally empowering once you understand the meaning of the letter. Now, because 13 reduces to 4, 1 plus 3 for 13 equals 4, it is important to note that when you calculate your birth name, you use the number 4 for the letter M, not the number 13. So that brings me to the fact that you have a destiny number and you can discover it in the free class that you can watch on starcodeclass.com. It's important to know who you are at soul level, and your birthday and birth name really reveals so much about you. So check out that class at starcodeclass.com. Now, our exciting topic about the letter M begins with some important words that start with M, of course. The word marriage, for example, the word money, and the word manifestation. And later, I will share how you can create those optimal outcomes in those areas, money, marriage, manifestation. It's one of the secrets that numerology teaches. We also have the word man, right? Man. And only recently have we really delineated that we shouldn't just call people that embody humans mankind, but it's humankind, right? And then there's woman. Now this is very interesting because W, which starts woman, and M for man are actually very deeply connected. And we're going to go into that in a bit. So M, because it's the 13th letter, it's connected to mystery, to secrets. It is also related to money, though. So what mysteries about money manifestation does the letter M reveal? Well, it starts with the image. I want you to look at the image of the M. And initially what we see is a letter that has all straight lines. There are no curved lines. And this gives M tremendous focus and direction and awareness and clarity, right? A straight line is, there is no sense of moving off topic. It is literally what you see is what you get. And the letter M is very much about that. It also stands very firm, well balanced on its 2 feet with that middle V, which we'll go into in a minute. So that shows a lot of strength, reliability, stability. And then that middle V that is in the middle of the letter M, that indicates that M is very open to inspiration and new ideas. So M is very receptive to insights from source. So M has great management abilities. M has a mind that is organized. And remember, M resonates to 13, which reduces to 4. And 4, that number is representative of the square. The square has 4 sides. And M, the letter, has 4 lines, right? So it symbolizes the number 4, the physical manifestation of our ideas into physical reality, right? The literal, practical application that uses ideas and makes them real. The physical manifestation is the work, and the wealth comes from the wealth of inspiration that you manifest. So wealth is achieved through work, order, discipline, right? And on Earth, we have 4 seasons to remind us of the importance of this number. In fact, the planet Earth is connected to the number 4 for that reason. We have 4 seasons, we have 4 directions, and this is a divine physical representation of life, death, transformation. Are the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter, where a seed grows and blossoms and is appreciated, and then the fruits are picked in the autumn, and then in the winter everything goes dormant and dies. That is the regeneration transformation theme of the number 13 and the number 4. So this combination of inspiration and order gives M the ability to manage with authority, and that's where the power comes from. So whether it's a household, people at work, an event, a business, M is a good leader. It's a good manager, since it is gifted with dealing rapidly with major decisions. And where does that rapid inspiration to deal with quick decision-making process, where does that come from? Well, 13 is about sudden, unexpected events and breakthroughs, surprising developments. And so it represents that transformational power that happens when you think on your feet, when you get inspired on your feet is really what we should say, and then manifest as a result. So you're accepting the change at the same time that you're acting on how to resolve the inevitable. You trust your natural ability to shift your life at any given moment in time. And that's how you empower through transformation. And that's really what 13 means, which is so interesting that we have eliminated culturally this number from which M represents from our experience. Why is that? Well, the answer to that question is also revealed in another meaning for the number 13, and that is that it represents the divine feminine. And so in a moment, we're going to go into this letter M and how connected it is to the mother principle, and how that has been removed in so many ways from our natural way of living, right? There's so much that we can learn from the divine feminine, how it is connected intimately to nurturing and motherhood and cycles. And so let's dive deeper into the image and meaning of this letter. So M actually looks like a wave. And when you write the letter M in cursive, right, like that, which is a soon to be forgotten art, unfortunately, in our schools, M becomes a wave form. So M represents both the mother and water. So isn't this interesting? Because when a mother is first pregnant, the fetus lives in a womb, which is water. And most of the earth is water. Our blood represents, percentage-wise, the amount of water that is on earth. And our bloodstream. A stream is water. So what is it about water? Why is it so deeply connected to the mother principle? Well, the deepest parts of the ocean, where water is, are completely silent. And there's a profound depth and serenity with this letter M. The mother principle, the connection to water, shows that mystery, that source of power that comes where life originates, which is in those deep, deep, silent waters of the ocean. That's where life on Earth actually originated. So it's not a coincidence that in so many cultures, the word for mother starts with the letter M, the birth of life. So, of course, we have in English language, we have mom or mommy or mama. We have mother. We have in other languages, madre, mutter. I'm not pronouncing some of these correctly. Macoachina. That's definitely not correct. In French, we have mère. We have maman, we have mor, M-O-R. So what does this letter M connect in terms of water and mother? Well, the embryo, like I said, the fetus lives in the mother. And so we have a womb. And the womb, even the end of the word womb, when we bring it to life through vocalization, is an M, womb. So the womb of the mother, when you're held, when you're nurtured, you feel as if in a womb. Now get this, the sound of M, the way you say it reveals even more, because remember the still waters at the bottom of the ocean. Well, say the letter M out loud. It's the only letter that you pronounce completely with your mouth closed. So M can hold secrets. It doesn't open up. It can keep secrets. It has the patience to dive into mysteries. And so that's what makes M also so powerful, just like the number 13 that it represents. And since M symbolizes water, when you close your mouth, it represents immense silence. That is like the deepest parts of the ocean, which are actually totally silent. There is no sound down there. So this is incredible. So silence is what we experience at the beginning and end of all life. And our most wonderful inspirations are born when the mind is quiet, when you are still and can listen to your intuition. So a mind at rest is open to listen to the mother, the divine mother. And in these quiet moments, that's when you renew, that's when you transform, that's when you assimilate change in a natural way, because you hear and are connected like the umbilical cord to the voice of the divine, right? And it is in this silence that represents when your biggest aha moments actually unveil profound truths. And so the money principle is activated is when you apply those truths to activate abundance. That is the deepest fulfillment of the whole cycle of life, is to listen, let it germinate like the 4 seasons, and then bring it to life in the summer, right? And then listen to the prompts, the feedback as to the rhythm of your manifestation, when to manifest, how to manifest, when not to move forward. That is the cycle of life right there. Now, on the other hand, if you're surrounded by noise of any kind, it can be mental noise, right? It disturbs your mind. And so that's why it's so important to sleep in silence. We sleep in silence. We can't sleep if there's noise going on, right? If our mind either is activated through noisy thoughts or actual sound noise. So then when we wake up, we have had hopefully a good rest, a good night's rest, and then we move into action. And that is the change that allows us to live a meaningful life. Meaning starts with M. So this continual change from movement to rest, right? It's like going into the mother's womb, which is symbolized by the waves in the letter M. And this flow of energy even extends to our partnerships, because when two lovers join together, that womb of love is called matrimony and marriage. And you're consummating your partnership through either a spiritual marriage or an actual, state-sanctioned marriage. But a celebration of marriage is called a wedding, the W. So matrimony comes from the Latin word mater, which means mother. Okay, so it's just so exciting when you go into this mother principle and you understand it from that level, right? That it really represents love to the nth degree. And we should say to the nth degree. So really, a great gift that moms have is to be able to read their children in any circumstance, to understand your children so well that you can identify behaviors and thoughts beforehand. You sort of know, you're prepared to nurture and guide because you're so attuned intuitively in that way. So as opposed to reacting, which is the goal of parenting, is not to react to your children because you're trying to protect yourself, but to be there and nurture and hold a space for them so that there's a constant loving engagement, which doesn't mean there's a lack of discipline, but it comes from love. It doesn't come from reacting in an angry way or a frustrated way, which is so counterproductive. So that is the divine mothering that we all aspire to, no matter whether it's with our children or not. When it comes to your children, when it comes to your family, the people closest to you, it is important to understand them so you can be present in that way. And you don't need to second guess who they are at soul level. And that's, again, another reason to understand what their birthday and birth name actually means, what their purpose is, what their destiny is, what their talents are, what their shadow side represents. This is important in order to raise and interact with them. So it's a great reason, again, to just go to that free class at starcodeclass.com, because it teaches you the wisdom in every person's code, including the code of your children. Okay, so just take some time and enjoy that free class at starcodeclass.com. So how can we consciously invoke the powerful gifts of this secret letter, right? How can we do that to manifest miracles and magic and the flow of money in our life? Let me first speak to those who have M in their name. If your first, middle, or last name begins or ends with the letter M, then you have all these qualities that I just described naturally within you. If your name contains the letter M, you also benefit from all of these wonderful qualities, these mystical powers. And this applies to everyone, whether you have M or not. The thing you want to look out for is that the more you use and invoke the meaning of the following words that I'm about to share with you, and this is whether you have M in your name or not, the more you will expand riches, peace, happiness, fulfillment in your life. So M looks like a mountain range as well, right? And it reaches for great heights. It makes a big impact. Now, you can make an impact on your life, a huge impact, by verbalizing, voicing out, and meditating on these following highly positive words, which begin with that 13th letter of the alphabet. So the first word is more. When you connect with more, there is movement, another word that starts with M. More is, I want more information. I'm interested in diving deeper through more investigation. So more is a very powerful word when used positively. The word make, like make a difference, making something. It's a word of creativity. I want to make this happen in my life. The word meaning, of course, the word mountain, climbing the mountain, committing to that endeavor, right? The word mentor, beautiful. It has MENT, which represents the mind. The word mind. The word magical. You want to use this in your life. Create magic by feeling the magical developments. And magic can be very small things. Miracles don't have to be like big, incredible moments, as they exist as well. But it's actually, miracles are are created when you appreciate the small moments, the small miracles, the small magical moments in your life, and they build up energetically to create those bigger miracles, which are the ones we end up remembering. Moment, a word I use a lot, living in the present, living in the moment, moment by moment, being in that space of MOM, mom, holding the womb, cradling your joy, your creativity in the moment. Mega is a great word as well, just very powerful. And meta as well. Maximum, reaching to a high level. Maximum even ends with M. Minimum. Why is minimum important? Because it can be used in a way that you say, I'm going to accomplish this with a minimum of distractions, with a minimum of effort, right? Or minimal. Mythical is wonderful when you connect to the myths, the stories. They are amazing. The Greek myths and Norse myths, so profound in helping us understand our lineage. And, storytelling in itself is a very creative, divine, feminine way to share because it invokes emotion. The story itself is meant to trigger something in your heart through a connection to the elements in the storyline. So myths and stories are just so beautiful. What do we do with children? What do moms and dads do to help their children fall asleep? They tell a story, a bedtime story. And that is to take you into the mythical, mystical world of dreams, right? It's the in-between world. That is so mystical. That is so undefinable. So mystery is another word. Meditation, of course, being in a meditative state. And this can be done in thousands, millions of ways. How you develop a meditative way of life. Manifest. Okay, these are the big words now. Manifest. I manifest this. This is how I choose to use every moment of the day by manifesting what? Fulfillment, joy, happiness. Just, there's so many ways to use another word right there. A millionaire, that has a mythical status symbol to be a millionaire, but you can use this word in your life to just feel different. What does it feel like to be a millionaire? Right? Dive into that. That's a wonderful meditation. Money, of course. Mastery. Now that's the ultimate expression, is self-mastery, which I've looked at a lot this month because of Taurus and Scorpio and that whole dynamic that's going on. But mastery is, this is where we are in total sync with the divine. We have mastered living in the moment and not being taken off guard or distracted. It's really so amazing when you look at the power of this letter M. Now, at the same time, you need to be aware of what not to focus on. So there are M words, just like there's a shadow side to every number. With 13, it is disempowering people, right? Similar to the planet Pluto, which 13 is aligned with. So when you express the shadow side of M, you're doing the opposite of the positive expression. And this words that describe that would be malevolent or martyring yourself. That is like going overboard with the controlling aspect of it. It's very complex when you get into martyrdom. Melancholy. Melancholy is an attachment to the past. It's not being present. Monster, malignant, malice, right? So, and words starting with MIS can take us off track, like mistake. You can use mistake in a proactive way if you see it as a mistake, meaning you just retake it. It's not a judgment. But very often mistake is used as a judgment, and that immediately takes us out of that flow with source, because judgment is, it creates guilt. It creates a negative emotional response, and that, takes you off track. So other words are misunderstanding or misled. When you use those, just make sure that they're used in a way so that you move through the experience and it is an actual understanding that leads to some proactive stance that you're taking. So it's important to just be aware of words in general. Now, what I love too, check this out, is there are 2 months in our 12-month cycle that begin with the letter M. And those 2 months are March and May. Now, this is definitely no coincidence because in the Northern Hemisphere, the 4 seasons begin with spring in the month of March when we have the equinox. So when the sun enters the sign of Aries in astrology, that's the beginning of the new Earth year and spring in the Northern Hemisphere. The month of May is associated, of course, with the beauty of spring and the celebration of mothers around the world because we have Mother's Day in May. So that brings me to the final really important M word I want to share with you today, because there are many, many more I'm sure that you can think of, and you might want to put them in the comments below if you think of some great M words here that we can share with each other. But the final one I'm going to share with you today is the moon. The moon governs a woman's cycles, and they're called menstrual cycles, which starts with M. Menopause starts with M, right? So the moon is representative of cycles on Earth, especially as regards to women, though men are also impacted. Astrologically, the moon has the greatest impact on our emotions, and emotion is emotion, energy in motion. Like I said, motion is part of this mother principle. And so the moon represents the mother in your personal astrology birth chart. Wherever there is the sun, it's one of the symbolism is your father, and the moon, the mother. So we've come full circle here. Human life begins in the mother's womb. Women's cycles are guided by the moon's cycles. The moon cycles govern the planting season here on Earth, which is how we get nourishment. And astrologically, the moon cycles, full moon, new moon, the eclipses, are used as divination arts for divine timing and also to receive divine messages from source. Every time we have a full moon or new moon, there is a cycle that's beginning and ending within us of change and self-growth. That's why we need to know what the lunations mean. So the moon is, of course, that plays that part as well as the sun. They both merge together there, but we call them lunar cycles for a reason, because it is the moon's movement around the sun that we're looking at. Here's the big takeaway on how to put the meaning and manifestation powers of M to use in your life. Use words that manifest your dreams. That is one of the secret tools that's explained through numerology that you can use right now. They don't all have to be M words, but M is about manifestation, and M is about magic and money and miracles. So M is like the key entrance point to where we can actually really understand the meaning of the words that we choose to use. By making these conscious choices on how you use empowering words and language, positive language, you automatically set the stage for manifesting those miracles and that magic with amazing consistency. Why consistency? Because of the 13 reducing to 4, which is the square, which describes the consistent and organized, practical way that we manifest. Now, money manifestation is deeply synchronized with your ability to tap into your womb of creativity and creating a plan of action. Okay, so that is the magic of money manifestation in a consistent way, is you've got to tap into your inner womb, your sacred womb of creativity. Remember, the womb is where the fetus grows. This is creation right there. And the plan of action are the cycles. You know, we have 9 months for a pregnancy. That is a cycle. It's 3/4 of a year. Well, why is that? Well, think about it. It really ties in. Everything ties into each other when you really put it to use. Now, water facilitates growth. So you want to, because the letter M is connected to water, spending time near a water source, bathing, showering, the beauty of the tropics or waterfalls, the ocean, the lakes, the rivers, the brooks. You want to have water around you at some point to replenish your soul and to engage with that mother principle. It is really important to do so. Cancer, the sign that the moon rules, is a water sign. That's no coincidence there. Water is where life actually emerged from, as we looked at. And the moon is so connected to that principle. So add water into your life. Drink lots of water. It is the best thing you can do, especially alkalized water. It will keep you healthy. Okay, so then finally, you want to nurture the divine feminine. Whether you're a man or a woman, nurture your intuition. Have spiritual practices that are part of your day, even if they're just when you wake up and go to sleep. You need some kind of spiritual practice, some kind of silence that can take you to that place where you are just in a state of supreme connection and meditation. Diving into the mysteries of life. This is the time. We have Neptune in its own sign of Pisces for the last few years and will continue for many more years. Neptune and Pisces are water. Neptune is spirituality. This is the time in the human experience now to dive into spiritual, mysterious, galactic themes like astronumerology, understanding them, understanding yourself, reconnecting to source, reconnecting to the universe, reconnecting to God, that whole principle of togetherness. And we are all connected, and how we live our life is truly impacting everything around you and reaches way beyond your understanding of energy, right? So connecting to the mysteries of who you are and the miracle of your soul code is very important. And also, of course, the divine feminine is about nurturing love, nurturing the people who are closest to you, nurturing your clients if you are an entrepreneur. That principle of nurturing and service is truly, truly connected to the letter M and the mother principle and the divine feminine. So, all right, everyone, that was a big one. I am so excited. I'm going to go through other letters with you in future podcasts, but I wanted to touch on M first, just because of its incredible connection to the womb and to the number 13, which is so misunderstood. And so if you're excited to explore more astronumerology, especially your own divine blueprint, just go to starcodeclass.com, where there is a free class, Discover Your Divine Blueprint, that you can take. So yeah, this is exciting. Enjoy the week. I'll sign off for now, and I look forward to connecting with you next week on our next episode. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. Lots of love.